Now we're going to talk about converting capacity. Now that you know the units, gallons, quarts, pints, cups, and also the fluid ounces, the teeny tiny ones, smaller than a cup. Now we have to figure out how to convert those units. Remember we talked about, it's the same with length. If you're comparing different unit amounts, if you've got different units, it's too hard. So you want to get them in like units. How do you do that? If the starting unit's larger, multiply. If the starting unit's larger, multiply. The units that you start with are bigger than the ones they ask. If the starting unit's larger, multiply. So if you have 3 gallons and they want to know how many cups that is, well, first we've got to figure out how many cups are in a gallon. If only we knew a song for that. 4 quarts in a gallon, 4 quarts in a... Oops, that's a mess. It happens. 4 quarts in a gallon, 4 quarts in a gallon, 4 quarts in a gallon. So pour, baby, pour, boom, boom, boom. 8 pints in a gallon, 8 pints in a gallon, 8 pints in a gallon. So pour, baby, pour, boom, boom. 16 cups in a gallon, 16 cups. Now I know there's 16 cups in 1 gallon. If the units that is, what if the starting unit's larger? Are gallons bigger than cups? Yep. Larger, multiply. What's 3 times 16? See, 3 15s are 45. So then add 3 more, 48. That's all you have to do. If the starting unit's larger, multiply. Now the clever ones, you can say, well, sometimes Mrs. Hernisen, they're going to ask you to turn a smaller unit, let's say 64 cups, into something bigger. Let's see, if the starting unit's larger, multiply. Starting unit's cups, they give us 64 cups. Is that larger? No, it's not. So let's see, this time they started with a smaller. They didn't start with a larger, they started with a smaller. They started with the opposite. If only we knew something that was the opposite of multiplication. What's the opposite of multiplication? Division, you got it. So now it's still going to be 16 cups in 1 gallon, but now instead of multiplying, we're going to divide 64 divided by 16. Now remember where we talked about that? Double digit long division is no fun for me. I don't care if you go ahead and use the calculators for this. I really don't. But I'm not offhand positive how many 16s are in 64, so I'm just going to start with a guess. I'm going to go with 4. 4 times 6. Hey, I'm a pretty good guesser. All right. So 16 goes into 6, 0 times. 16 goes into 64. 4 times 16 is 64. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's how we convert. You just have to memorize, if the starting unit's larger, multiply. If the starting unit's larger, multiply. And then if they start with a small one, just do the opposite. They do the opposite, you do the opposite. It's going to work out great for you, okay? Don't forget that rule.